let's start the show. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Saad Khalil. Today we have a very astonishing video I wanted to make because our maps, they don't fit right. What I mean by they don't fit right, and I'll explain later in the video, is that the way our projection or our eye that looks at it in that certain way, it doesn't even look right. Because I've always been astonished. By the way, this is actually my setup, so I hope you guys like this kind of setup, but it's just a starter. Progressing in there, it'll get better and better with doing other videos, because I've always been intrigued about this video of doing it. I've always looked at world maps. I've always had something for, I want to say, for like an ambition is just to know more about the planet in geography, just in general. Especially a person like me that comes from the Middle East. I come from Iraq, but that's another topic for another video. It's really interesting. So, not further ado, let's start with the video. So, the eternal dilemma of map makers: the surface of a sphere cannot be represented as a plane without some sort of distortion. This guy proved that with math a long time ago. Since around 1500s, mathematicians have set about creating algorithms that would translate the globe into something flat. To portray the surface of the globe on a flat map, geographers have developed geometric methods called map projections. So projecting the globe will affect what the map looks like once it's all flattened out. أو بالأحرى إنه الإسقاط بهذه الطريقة بيحدد الخريطة. Here's the big problem. هنا المشكلة يا جماعة. So shapes, distances, direction, and land area. Certain map projections can be either misleading or very helpful depending on what you are using them for. Here's an example. This map is called the Mercator projection. أو بالأحرى ما بيسمى بإسقاط الخريطة. The simplest map projection consists of surrounding Earth with a cylinder and having each point of its surface correspond to a point on the cylinder. ويتم إسقاط الأسطوانة لتحديد المواقع الجغرافية. This is called cylindrical projection. أو بالأحرى يعني إسقاط أسطواني. On a map made using cylindrical projection, the parallels and meridians are straight lines that intersect at right angles. خريطة مصنوعة على الإسقاط الأسطواني، فإن المتوازيات خطوط الطول هي خطوط مستقيمة تتقاطع بزوايا قائمة. The continents, on the other hand, are distorted by the projection, although the representation of the interpercal zone is close to reality. The polar regions are broadened disproportionately. في الوسط متوازيات، لكن في الجنوب والشمال لا. The projection invented by the geographer Gerard Mercator more than 400 years ago compensate for this east-west distortion with a north-south distortion. Now, the continents are the correct shape, but the area of the polar region is greatly exaggerated. Greenland, for example, looks as big as Africa when it's really 15 times smaller. Greenland بتبين كأنه بحجم أفريقيا ومع إنه غلط. No map projection can portray the globe by both maintaining the proper area ratios and not distorting the contours. The choice of projection type depends on the user's needs. The Mercator projection, for example, is used in navigation because shipping lanes can be figured in straight lines and are easily followed using a compass. ولأنه استعملوا هذه الطريقة فكانت السفن إلها سهلة بأنه تعبر القارات على خطوط مستقيمة. You probably studied it in school. It's the projection Google Map uses. Mercator projection is popular for a couple of reasons. First, it generally preserves the shapes of the countries. Brazil on the globe has the same shape as Brazil on the Mercator projection. But the real purpose of Mercator projection was navigation. It preserves direction, which is a big deal if you're trying to navigate the ocean with only a compass. وطبعا إذا كان عندك بوصلة بهذاك الوقت فطبعا إنك حتستخدم هذه الخريطة. When المركاتور إنه غلط, where the Mercator fails, it represents of a size. Look at the size of Africa as compared to Greenland. On the Mercator map, they look about the same size. But look at globe Greenland's true size, and you'll see it's way smaller than Africa by a factor of 14, in fact. If we put some dot that all the same sizes on a globe, then we project it as a Mercator, map would end up with this. The circles retain their shape but are enlarged the closer you get to the poles. One modern critique is that this distortion perpetuates imperialist attitudes of European domination over the southern hemisphere.
Mercator projection has fostered European imperialist attitudes for centuries and created an ethnic bias against the Third World. Really?
If you want to see a map that more accurately displays the sizes, you can use this Gall-Peters projection map, which is called an equal area map. Look at Greenland and Africa. The size compression is now accurate, much better than the Mercator, but it's obvious that the country shapes are now stretched. Here are the dots again so you can see how the projection preserves area while totally distorting shape. Something happened in the late 60s would change the whole purpose of mapping and the way we think about projections. Satellites operating our planet started sending location navigation data to the little receiver units all over the world.
Today, orbiting satellites of the Navy Navigation Satellite System provide round-the-clock, ultra-precise position fixes from space to units everywhere in any kind of weather.
This global positioning system wiped out the need for paper maps as a mean of navigating both the seas and the sky. Map projection choices became less about navigational imperatives and more about aesthetic designs and presentation. The Mercator map, the vital tool of pre-GPS navigation, was shunned by cartographers who now saw it as misleading, but most web mapping tools like Google Maps still use the Mercator. According to Google, this is because the Mercator's ability to preserve shape and angle makes close-up views of cities more accurate. A 90-degree left turn on the map is a 90-degree. Left turn on the street we are driving down, but when trying to display something on a world map, cartographers rarely use the Mercator. Most modern cartographers have settled a variety of non-rectangular projections that split differences between totally distorting either sizes or shape. In 1998, the National Geographic Association adopted the Winkle triple projection because of its pleasant balance between size and shape accuracy. But the fact remains that there is no one right projection. Cartographers and mathematicians have created a huge library of available projections, each a new perspective on the planet. The best way to see what the Earth really looks like, take a look at the globe. But as long as we use map projections, we'll have to deal with the trade-offs that comes with it. It's something that it's worth looking at. مع انه كلنا حنستعمل الخريطة المسطحة، فانه هناك ما في صح او غلط، لانه موجودة كلها في هواتفنا في Google Maps or anything else. There's never a right answer when we're using that. Also, if you want to make fun out of the map or just make jokes out of it, there's a website called truesize.com. And you get to actually pick the map and place it, or take a country and pick it and put it somewhere, like for instance Greenland, and put in Africa and see if it's its correct size. Nevertheless, guys, I hope you really like this, and share and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Yes, this is not a travel video, but never forget, this is videography. I'm a guy that loves geography, and we'll be talking more about that in the coming episodes. I'm thinking about doing other things, but stay posted for the next videos that to come, since, you know, we can't really travel. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Salam.